Welcome to day 8 of our Enchanted Princess Norway and Iceland vlog series. In this episode, we explore Iceland's capital of the north, Akureyri. We follow an unexpected path and arrive at a spectacular destination. We go on a whale watching excursion near the Arctic Circle. And stay tuned till the end to find out about our magnificent evening entertainment on board the Enchanted Princess.
Hi, I'm Tom.
And I'm Dom.
And we are Tom and Dom Travel.
Hi and welcome to day 8 of our Enchanted Princess cruise to Norway and Iceland. Today we're in the wonderful port of Akureyri. If you've missed any of our Enchanted series, make sure you click the playlist link on screen now, and don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help us grow our channel.
Yes, thank you very much to those who already liked and subscribed as well. Thank you. Okay, so the morning started off with getting up pretty early really. This is our first stop in Iceland, so we were quite excited.
Yeah, really looking forward to just, neither of us have ever been to Iceland. We really wanted to just get off and have a quick look around town, look at the sort of, the architecture and the style and just how sort of what Iceland is actually like.
Yeah, it has been impressive, hasn't it?
Really beautiful.
We started off with breakfast in the buffet, really quick breakfast because we couldn't wait to get off.
I had some genetically modified Lucky Charms because they're all shipped in from the US.
Yeah.
which were very nice, very unusual, very strange, but yeah, quite nice.
Yeah, you didn't particularly find them exciting, did you, when you read all the ingredients that were in them?
No. So yeah, it was different. The one thing I found odd though was they changed the colour of the milk to grey. It's really strange. I did sort of contradict. I did have my fruit cup with it to sort of balance it out. Hopefully they weren't genetically modified as well, but there you go.
Who knows?
So straight off the ship then, after a quick breakfast in the buffet, and Akureyri, like most of Iceland's ports, is pretty small. Very short walk along the seafront into sort of the main town, and the first thing you come across is this Hof Centre, and in there is the tourist information shop and some public toilets, just so you know. Yeah,
you can't miss that centre really. It's the first big building you see when you come off the ship, and as you head straight through the doors, the tourist information is located on the right side, isn't it?
As with most sort of Scandinavian and northern countries, their English is absolutely outstanding, isn't it?
Oh yeah, perfect English. They can understand everything that you are saying and they're able to communicate with no problems at all.
We booked an excursion privately, not through Princess Cruises, for the afternoon.
Yeah.
So the morning, pretty much we just wanted to have a little walk around. So we did stop off and ask the tourist information office what's there to do and see. And she gave us a map and pointed out some sort of landmarks and some really interesting points that we pretty much had to go and see.
Yeah. So we started off by going into the town centre and heading towards the church, which we could see from the port was located on a hill.
Yeah.
We later discovered that there are quite a few steps up to this church, isn't there?
Yeah, it's quite a climb. It's not anything too taxing, but obviously if you do have any type of mobility issue, you might find it a little bit challenging. But it was quite a leisurely stroll up the steps to the church. Unfortunately, when we got to the top, we do like to go in and have a look at churches for some reason, and unfortunately it was closed because they were having a funeral that day. So, some spectacular views from the top though.
Very good views back across to the ship
and all of Akureyri really.
Yeah. So as the church was closed and we couldn't look in, so back down the steps we went and headed into town.
Yeah, across into their sort of high street area.
Yeah, they've got a few photo stops on the way. So there's one that's located at the bottom of the steps to the church that we just spoke about, which is in a heart shape.
Yeah.
And we had a few photos in that, didn't we? Which was quite fun.
Yeah, I love Akureyri. They're both the same.
As quite a lot of ports have these little photo stops now, don't they? And then after that we walked down the one high street that there is in Akureyri, so there's not a lot there.
No. It's quite interesting though, all the different shops, and a lot of sort of pavement decorations.
Yeah.
In terms of artwork, and on this particular street it was Pokemons for some reason.
Yeah, we didn't find out why there were Pokemon on the street, but they were.
Very pretty though.
Yeah, some lovely buildings in the street. The one building that did stand out to us most of all was an ice cream shop.
Yeah, a little pink ice cream shop.
Yeah, so it stood out, one because it was pink, and two because on the edge of the Arctic Circle there they had an ice cream shop. So I don't know what the demand is for it normally, but it was a nice shop anyway.
As we proceeded up this single high street, you got to this main sort of circular area, which seemed like a gathering point and a focal area for the town, and they were setting up some type of event that was going to be put on later on.
You'd call it like the main town square, but it was round.
Circle.
So there were a couple of food trucks that were there but closed, and a couple of other things setting up, weren't there? So we thought, oh, we'll come back later and have a look at that.
See what's going on. The tourist information basically advised us and pointed us towards the old town of Akureyri. So we decided to make our way back along the shore and towards the old town, if you like, of Akureyri. Very pretty, very picturesque, traditional sort of Icelandic buildings. We walked past the main theatre.
We did.
Saw a little waterfall.
Yeah. We and one thing, that the traffic lights in Akureyri, the red of the traffic light is always a little red heart, which is lovely.
Nice little touch.
Nice to see. So we proceeded along the shorefront, past all these beautiful houses, the old type of Icelandic house, and after a certain distance we knew that we needed to head right, walk towards the Botanic Gardens. We took a right, which we don't think it was the most obvious right turn to take, because we ended up walking up this
like a coastal path.
A path that was like a trail, really. Uphill through trees and grass and bushes.
It's quite an interesting walk.
It was, and we ended up actually reasonably close to the Botanic Gardens when we emerged from the top of this path.
The Botanical Gardens in Akureyri are quite a big sort of tourist attraction. They're only open for a handful of months in the year, I think from June until September, and then obviously the weather is just too cold to grow any flowers, but it was absolutely beautiful, wasn't it?
Beautiful, and we stopped there for our usual coffee, didn't we? We both had 2 lattes there in a beautiful, what looked like a reasonably new addition to the Botanic Gardens, a little coffee shop. Fantastic, really enjoyed their coffee there. It was very well presented, beautiful building.
It was nice to get into the warm because it was actually quite cold.
It was.
We were quite surprised. It was a very grey day for us, and it was quite nippy. So I wouldn't say it was too cold, but it was quite fresh.
Yes, yeah. So after the coffee we spent about an hour wandering around the Botanic Gardens. It's all split into different sections, a couple of pools, a couple of fountains, and different areas specialising in different types of plants. As we booked our excursion for 1 o'clock, we then had to sort of make our way back to the port area, which didn't take us too long, 20 minutes? Yeah, 20 minutes, not long at all downhill.
All downhill. We were a little bit peckish by then, and we stopped into a local bakery that was in the town centre and had a traditional ham and cheese pastry type thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We didn't actually quite catch the name.
No, ham and cheese, mostly pastry though. It was quite nice.
Yeah, it was quite tasty. So yeah, we ate that as we were walking towards the port.
It's worth pointing out, one of the things we did spot as we were walking back towards the ship was the public swimming pool and swimming baths.
Of course.
That was all outdoors with what looked to be thermal waters. Which we were quite surprised about. So it was quite a little small water park outdoor area. The water's lovely and warm, and it was full of locals. So obviously it was a popular spot.
And having a look at the pricing, it was very reasonable.
Yeah, so if you're stopping off on the ship and you want a reasonably priced thermal bath experience that's a little bit more like a leisure centre, that's a good option.
Yeah, and it was full of kids and families.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend if you want something to do in Akureyri, go and do that.
Yeah, especially if the weather's not great. They did have slides, and all the slides, the walkways up to the slides were all covered.
Yeah, sheltered from the wind.
Good place.
Good place. At the port, then they've got lots of different whale watching expeditions and areas. We managed to locate our pickup point. Well, it wasn't really a pickup point, it was a meeting point to get on this whale watching boat that we booked a few months in advance of the cruise. It was pretty well organised.
Yeah, pretty well organised. They gave the option to borrow gloves and other things if you needed them in the offices there. You picked up your little ticket which they gave you, and you headed to queue to get onto the boat.
Yeah. Once on the boat, it was split levels. You had indoor areas as well as outdoor areas. Yeah. Indoor areas were lovely and warm. Outdoor areas were obviously exposed to the elements, and it was pretty cold. As we were really looking forward to the whale watching experience and getting the opportunity to see some more whales, we opted to sit right at the top.
Yeah, we were on top deck all brave, thinking, we'll be fine. Anyway, as soon as the boat set off, the wind was coming. It was freezing, wasn't it? So
fortunately, as part of this specific whale watching tour, they did actually provide us with outerwear and overalls, and they were beautifully warm once you put them on. Yeah,
you could go down back to the bottom of the boat where they'd hand out these overalls to you, which luckily we did pretty speedily, didn't we? As soon as the boat set off. And they were needed. Yeah, you definitely need them. And if you go on this whale watching trip, please wrap up warm, because you do need it once the boat is moving.
Yeah, absolutely. And really good with the overalls. We managed to stay on the top deck for the whole trip. The whole 3 hours, and it was well worth it.
Yeah. With much anticipation, we sailed for about 20 to 30 minutes up the fjord out of Akureyri. And lo and behold, we spotted 2 humpback whales, didn't we?
We did. It was extraordinary. A lot of people on the expedition, on the excursion, were a little bit sort of negative, and they were like, "Oh, we're not going to see any whales."
Yeah.
The company that we booked with, if we didn't see any whales, they'd give us the opportunity again in Reykjavik.
Yeah. So there was an opportunity to do it if we didn't, but
we did.
In no time at all, we were there, and we followed these whales for a good hour or so, didn't we?
We did.
And it was a great show. They were blowing water up into the air. You could see them diving with their tails coming up. It was fab. Great experience.
Really good.
Yeah, fantastic trip. 2.5 hours in total on the water. For about an hour of that, we did follow the whales, humpback whales, as we said. So definitely worthwhile. Great experience. If you get a chance for a short amount of time in Akureyri, it's worth booking that trip.
Yeah, absolutely. And we used no, we didn't. We used Viator.
Yeah, we booked with Viator. On the way back, it took us about 30 minutes to get into Akureyri, and from the bakery that we mentioned earlier, where we had the ham and cheese pastry, we'd also bought what was like an Icelandic snack, which was similar to a yum yum, if you've had those if you're from the UK. And we shared that, didn't we? And that again was really nice.
Once back in port and off the whale watching boat, we decided to try and go back up to the church to see if we could get in and have a look.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was still closed. However, we were quite lucky because one of the annual events that Akureyri sort of do during the summer months was taking place.
Yeah, so this was organised by the local hotel and the local dance group, which we'll have to put the name on the screen because I can't remember what they are. And it involved running up all those stairs that we mentioned earlier up to the church, and they raced up the stairs in different age groups at different times with music blasting, and whoever got to the top got a free a drink or a juice box or something like that for their efforts of running up the hill.
Yeah, so it was for kids, wasn't, you know,
well, yeah,
it
I think
wasn't
it
a
went,
60 to 70 year old
no, it
category.
went 60, I think there was a 13 plus, and anyone could join in then as after that age. So, and the nice thing was the lady who was in charge of the dance school, who was helping organise it, invited any of the cruise ship passengers who wanted to join in and be involved. So fantastic welcoming atmosphere.
Really good.
And it was great to see people running up the stairs. But the one thing that did spoil it a little bit, there were a few passengers on the ship who weren't impressed that the locals were having an event and just wanted to walk up the stairs and interrupt the event because they thought that they had priority over the locals who were using it, which was a bit of a shame to see.
Yeah. So.
We walked back through town again just to have a little look at that set up in the square, the round square that we spoke about earlier, and there were some vendors that had now opened up and lots of other types of food and cuisine. So unfortunately though, we just didn't have time to stop by then, did we? We headed back onto the ship because it was getting near to sail away time.
And we've been off the ship since 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it was about 5 o'clock, 5:15. So we decided to go back onto Enchanted.
Yeah.
We quickly grabbed something to eat from Salty Dog Grill.
Yes, I tried a barbecue pulled pork sandwich, which was actually the first time I tried that, and it was really nice. I'd recommend you to try that.
Very, very tasty. I had one of their hot dogs, and on Sky it wasn't self-serve. Obviously now on Enchanted, COVID restrictions have lifted, and you can pretty much add as many toppings to this Salty Dog hot dog as you want, and onion, cheese, gherkins. Really interesting sort of mix, and very, very tasty. I do like the hot dogs from Salty Dog Grill.
You would have them again, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely.
After that snack, we headed back to the room and chilled out in our cabin for a few hours, got ready for our meal of the evening, and then headed back out to the Amalfi restaurant for dinner.
To start, both myself and Tom had the chicken satay to start. Really, really tasty. Plenty of satay sauce on there, and we enjoyed them.
Yeah, the chicken breast was actually really nice. Really, it was a good amount of chicken as well on the plate. Then for main, I chose to have the steak Diane. Fantastic, beautiful meal. Steak was cooked lovely.
And for my main, I had the pork tenderloin, which again was beautiful, just fell apart. For dessert, I had the apple pie with like a crumble. It was very, very tasty, really, really nice. Loads of fruit in there, and I definitely have it again.
And then I chose to have the Love Boat Dream dessert, which I've had before. It was great, but our waitress Tamara, who we've spoken about a few times now on the channel, she said no, she'd like me to try another dessert as well, so I ended up with 2. So the other one was a white mocha tart, and actually I really liked it, so she was right. Fabulous choice, but I did mean I ate 2 desserts.
After another really impressive and amazing meal in Amalfi restaurant, main dining room, we headed to Good Spirits for a couple of gin and tonic.
Yeah, so gin and tonic, ultimate. One of our favourite drinks on board.
By now, all of the servers and waiters in there know exactly what we want.
Yeah, so you don't need to ask for your drink.
They
are so welcoming, and they basically tell you what you're going to get before you even have to ask.
Yeah.
Fantastic service in Good Spirits.
Yeah. Same with the wine in the main dining room.
Yeah.
So
we
good.
stop having to order. We stop having to ask. It just arrives at the table. Superb.
While we were in Good Spirits in the piazza, then Jamie's band were on, and I've got to say they are absolutely fantastic.
They really
can do so many different genres of music,
and they're doing a different theme every night, and every night they have a huge crowd up dancing in that piazza area, and you do feel like you're really getting a good vibe going on through the whole thing. There really is a buzz about the piazza, isn't there?
Yeah, really, really popular sort of evening destination, pre-meal, pre-show.
Yeah.
It's a very, very busy area and very different experience to the Sky Piazza on Sky Princess.
After a few drinks in good spirits and a little dance to Jamie's band, we then headed to the Princess Theatre, where we were going to see Becky Porter.
This is the second show Becky Porter has put on in the Princess Theatre. The first time was as her Adele tribute act. However, this evening she was just being herself and just singing a variety of different songs.
Yeah, so you can find Becky on Instagram at Becky Adele Trib. She's a great singer, really enjoyed it, and it was nice to see her do a variety of different artists as well. Yeah. So thank you very much, Becky. We enjoyed your show.
Yeah, you're absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
Really, really talented individual. After a really, really good show in the Princess Theatre with Becky Porter, we then made our way to Princess Live to be entertained with some more vocal stylings. However, this time from our fellow passengers with Princess Live Karaoke.
Yes, and
it was quite entertaining.
It was entertaining, if not excellent vocal performances, but it was nice to sit there for an hour or so and just listen and enjoy what was going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really good fun. After Princess Live and a few cocktails,
yes,
we decided to
one last drink
and to try our luck in the casino.
Our luck was definitely tried because we didn't win anything once again.
No.
But as you said, we only bet $10 at a time, so no major losses, and it was 5 minutes of fun.
5 minutes.
And that money was gone. So we sat about. We like to just have a little bit of a look what else is going on, and there is some serious gamblers, isn't there, in the casino. So it's nice to watch them and watch how they do. Some people are playing two machines at
the
once.
same time. It's incredible, really.
Yeah, there's some big money being bet as well. So it's entertaining just to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, soak up the casino ambience. After a long day, we headed straight back to our cabin stateroom. Ordered a bit of the complimentary room service. Again. Well, the reason we do it is because there's no midnight buffet.
There's no midnight buffet, and when you're on a 2-week cruise, the
International
Cafe is basically the same menu all the time. So unless you want a cheese and ham croissant, which is very nice, and I do like them, or a not so nice cheeseburger pie,
or a range of sandwiches, they tend to be the same.
Sometimes you want something other than a nice sandwich, don't you, of an evening? You want something a bit less healthy. So we order room service instead.
And it's easy, and it turns up, and it's complimentary, which is, you know, a credit to Princess, because not a lot of cruise lines do complimentary room service.
No, not to that extent, do they? So bit of room service, and then off to bed because we had another busy day coming tomorrow.
Join us for our next video, day 9, in the wonderful Icelandic town of Akureyri.
In your best Icelandic accent.
Best Icelandic, I'm getting good.
He's been watching this guy on TikTok, so he's practicing. And what's interesting about this port is it's going to be our first tender experience, so keep an eye on what we think of that.
Thanks for watching our day 8 vlog of the wonderful port of Akureyri. If you've got any comments, pop them in the box below and we'll get back to you.
And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to check us out on social media.